So there is this new movie at the theaters called F1 the movie. Now it's a racing film all over again. We've had several racing films that have come out, underperformed, and no one remembers them honestly. And I feel F1 the movie will be one of those films. Now the film is starring Brad Pitt. I'm not a huge fan of Brad Pitt, similar to Tom Cruise. I don't really like these two guys that much, but if you had to ask me which I would pick between the two, I would easily pick Brad Pitt. I'm not a fan of Tom Cruise whatsoever. So this guy is starring in this project. They have other actors that are not that popular, like Kerry Condon. There is also Damson Idris. There are other actors here like Javier Bardem. So look, let's go over the numbers because the media all of a sudden tried to spin this as a huge success this past weekend, and I had to make a separate video debunking such nonsense. Now, the film opened to a $55.6 million in its first weekend, which that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's if your film costs, I don't know, 100 million, 120 million. If you open to a $55.6 million in your first weekend, that's a very good opening weekend. But when your film costs closer to $300 million, this is terrible. And I will explain why. One thing the Access Media did once again was to run more damage control by saying that it opened to an 88.4 million internationally, and when you add all that together you get 144 to 145 million dollars, even with adjustments. When you get the full box office numbers, it will be around 145. Now, the reality here is that this is not a good opening weekend for a film that costs 250 and above for the studio to produce. Now, if we start comparing it to other projects, other major projects that have flopped at the box office, you have to look at other projects like Thunderbolts, Captain America 4. There are so many projects that have failed badly this year already. And this film, for the fact that it has a $250 million production budget, it will definitely need $650 million at least to break even. Even though it opened to $145 million this weekend, that is nowhere near good enough to get this project to any sort of break-even point. It's not good enough for the studio. The studio already knows all this, and no matter how much they want to spin this as a win, I understand that major Hollywood trades are desperate to have a huge hit that can, bring us into the summer properly. But there is no project that has really done it very well just yet. Maybe I would only say Lilo and Stitch, but that's not even a summer film. No film has really come out and blown the roof off at this point. This is not looking good. And this guy, Joseph Kosinski. Now, this Joseph Kosinski fellow, he has directed other big time projects that have failed so badly at the box office, like Oblivion back in 2013. Even Tron Legacy wasn't a huge success for Disney back then. Only Brave. He has other projects. I think his only big time success was the recent Top Gun Maverick from 3 years ago that made over $1 billion. But that's the only project that he has had that's made money. He's not really a commercially successful director. He gets great projects with a lot of production behind, like production budget behind them, but he doesn't really deliver masterpieces that get money at the theaters. So I don't even know what to make of this guy at this point. Now the reality is that this project is so expensive, and the studio in question here is Apple Studios. Now, Apple Studios wants to start competing, but Apple Studios needs to understand that if they're not making money back from what they put in, this is all but a waste. They will just keep recycling wasted money over and over again. This is what they will keep doing at this point. You know, this is the thing killing Disney now. Disney is almost too big to fail. That is basically the situation. Apple is almost as big as anything you can imagine. So they will keep throwing money at it to see what sticks. But this kind of budget is too much. Why will you spend almost $300 million to make a racing film that is very forgettable? I just don't understand that. So, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this box office report. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, follow us here. I'll see you guys very much next time.